Welcome to NacEdition. I'm McKenna Robertson.
And I'm Lashering Howard.
We've got a great show for you today. On this episode, we'll learn about a book workshop at the library, an SFA musical extravaganza, how the new Nacogdoches Vineyard is doing, and see a couple activities the locals can take part in.
We'll also discuss Memorial Picnic, a fundraising event for children, a couple events going on around the oldest town in Texas, and afterwards, we'll get cooking with our own Darren Schultz. Stay with us. This is NacEdition.
Do you ever wonder what the library does with older books that cannot be checked out anymore? Well, this past Thursday, the Nacogdoches Public Library hosted an altered book workshop. This gave the community a chance to turn unwanted books into artwork. Every book that was used during the workshop would either have been thrown out or recycled. And with this workshop, it gives those two artsy chance to create something out of those unwanted books. The altered books workshop was led by Crystal Hicks, who was not provided the used books, but also brought a cart of arts and crafts supplies for those who attended. Many used Pinterest for inspiration and brought their family members to create artwork out of the older books. This event is normally hosted once every 2 months. If interested in attending the next Altered Book Workshop, contact the library at 936-559-2970 for more information.
Last Friday night, SFA's Friends of Music hosted their 30th annual extravaganza banquet and danced to honor and award many talented SFA musical students. The night consisted of dinner, award ceremony, performances from different performers, and a dance to end the night. Each department in the School of Music awarded students different scholarships throughout the night, as well as their Honored Alumni Award was given to Miss Peggy Wright, who was the music's building on the campus is named after. Performances that night included the Swinging Axes Wind Ensemble, the a cappella choir, the SFA Orchestra, and a small scene performed by the opera students. The extravaganza is held every year towards the end of the semester, so if this sounds like a night you would like to participate in, make sure to check out the SFA Fine Arts website for more information.
The new Nacogdoches Valley Vineyard is now open for the public for tastings and more. Here's Lena Martinek with more on the story.
Nacogdoches is getting bigger with the addition of certain businesses. The Nacogdoches Valley Vineyard opened its doors to the public at the start of April to spread some culture and, of course, some wine. The Nacogdoches Valley Vineyard is a family-owned business that invites everyone to learn and explore more about it. Let's take a closer look at how it came to be. Construction for the vineyard started about 8 years ago. The Mouton family built it from the bottom up.
My father had started in the late 90s. He had just kind of making wine for personal use, and over the years he had gotten a couple awards and accolades. So, hey, let's get this business going. You make great wine and people enjoy it, so let's try it out.
In 2013, the development started with the planting of 600 grapevines. According to their website, half of the planting included Blanc du Bois white grapevines and half black Spanish red grapevines. While taking a tour of the winery, you can see the tasting room, winemaking facility, winery lab, and wine storage area. Inside their production room is stainless steel tanks and bottling equipment. The vineyard offers wines ranging from Merlot red wine to a dry rosé. They plan to introduce a blueberry wine at the 2017 Blueberry Festival in June. There are tastings every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The tasting room has tables and wine on display for visitors.
For some ecotourism and get people outdoors in Nacogdoches and hopefully visit us and the brewery and the distillery all in one day and create a sort of a destination location.
The vineyard is located at 9897 FM Road, 1878. For more information about the Nacogdoches Valley Vineyard, you can visit nacovalley.com or call 936-615-6432. Reporting for NacEdition, I'm Lena Martinek.
Nacogdoches is the oldest town in Texas and is home to many historic landmarks, one of them being the Durst-Taylor House. According to their website, the Durst-Taylor House was home to many early businessmen, bankers, and political leaders, including Thomas J. Rusk, Bennett Blake, and William Ochiltree. The Durst-Taylor Historic House and Gardens is a circa 1835 wood frame house and is the second oldest building in Nacogdoches. The historic house and museum is hands-on and is welcome to all. Sights to see there include a fully functioning smokehouse, blacksmith shop, and chicken coop, as well as their Hurlem Gardens and sugarcane mill. The historic home also hosts tours. They are free and run Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4 p.m. For large tours or school groups, you can contact the Historic Sites Department. The house sits very close to the intersection of the El Camino Real de los Tejas and La Calle de Norte. For more information about the Durst-Taylor House, you can call 936-560-4443 or visit their website. After the break, we'll talk about Memorial Picnic, a book fundraising event, and a motorcycle rally for the oldest town in Texas. We'll be right back.
This weekend, SFA's Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity hosted a memorial picnic for their former president, Michael Mott. Mott died after a fatal encounter with a Nacogdoches native gunman on July 27, 2009. It was a huge loss for the fraternity, but they designed the picnic in 2010 to be a way for everyone to remember Mott as a huge role model in the Nacogdoches community. Besides the Iota Mu chapter president and one of the Dean of Pledges, Mott was also director for Student Activities Association, a mentor for the Boys and Girls Club and Head Start, and played for the SFA football team. Mott did a lot of community service and got the Alpha Phi Alpha chapter more involved with service geared towards middle and high school students. The picnic was open to the public from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Festival Park in Nacogdoches. The Alphas cooked burgers, chicken, and gave away free crawfish catered by Crawdaddies. There was a live DJ dance contest and a moment of silence for their beloved president. The Alphas highlighted the idea of unity and community by using the money from the end of the year stoplight party for the food, park, and reservations and music. For more information about Michael Mott or other events hosted by the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, you can follow them on Twitter and Instagram at SFA_Alphas.
A 2017 Reading Festival was held at Millard's Crossing last weekend. Here's Bethany Wells to show us more.
Last Saturday, April 29th, the second annual Summer Reading Festival was held at Millard's Crossing. The Summer Reading Festival was hosted by Unit 65 Collective and AFT. This is the second annual Summer Reading Festival hosted by Unit 65 Collective. They're here to collect books for children in Nacogdoches ISD. The motto, NAC Music for NAC Education. Let's go check it out. Featured at the festival were activities for kids, including a bouncy house, petting zoo, and letter writing station. You could also enjoy food from various food trucks and, of course, listen to some music. The Summer Reading Festival Book Drive is at its core a music festival featuring lots of local artists. Artists participating included All-Nighter, Stephanie Carbeck, and more. They rocked out for 11 hours from noon to 11 p.m. In order to be admitted to the festival, you had to bring a new or gently used children's book. The books will be distributed to Nacogdoches Independent School District children during the summer lunch program. Last year, books were distributed to students at Carpenter Elementary. Tyler Arnold, one of the founders of Unit 65 and an organizer of the festival, talked about where the idea came from and how important the books are for children.
A way to give back to the community, and we started doing benefit shows, but we wanted to take it to the next level and do something as giving back to the kids, who need books. And so that's when we decided that we wanted to do a book drive, but also a music festival, so that we could promote local music as well.
Unit 65 was founded by Sterling Coker, Tyler Arnold, and Garrett Moore as a way to promote and book shows for their band. They partnered with AFT, the American Federation of Teachers, to bring the book drive to life. For more information on AFT, you can visit their website, aft.org, and for more information on Unit 65 and any future events they might hold, you can visit their Facebook page. Reporting for NacEdition, I'm Bethany Wells.
The Nacogdoches community closed off Main Street at 11 a.m. on Saturday, April 29th to welcome the OTT Motorcycle Rally. The OTT Rally hosted their annual Wounded Warrior Ride through downtown Nacogdoches on Saturday in support of our nation's wounded warriors. Crowds of local residents filled the streets as vendors prepared their shops for this special occasion. The event lasted 30 minutes and was followed by a barbecue lunch. Although rainy, many of the motorcyclists filled the streets to show their support and raise donations for their project. In addition to this, several riders had flags on the back of their bikes to show support as well. This is an annual event that can be expected to return next year to Nacogdoches. For more information on the OTT Rally or the Wounded Warrior Ride, visit their website at ottrally.com.
After the break, our own Darian Schultz sees how a delicious dish is made. Stick with us. We'll be right back after the break.
It's time to dine with NacEdition's Darian Schultz as she learns how to cook up a delicious dish.
Welcome to Dine with Darian. Today we'll be baking with Bethany. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It's going to be great. I love baking, so I'm really excited just to get started.
What exactly are we going to be baking today?
Okay, so we're going to be making peanut butter blossom cookies.
Ooh.
So it's basically peanut butter cookies, and then you put a chocolate kiss in the middle of them. When they're still warm, they're really good. To get started, the first thing we'll need to do is measure out some of our stuff.
Okay.
So first we'll measure out half a cup of peanut butter, one of the most important things in peanut butter cookies. Make sure we get all of it out of there. And then if you want to go ahead and we're just going to take normal white sugar.
Okay.
And we'll get half a cup of that.
Okay.
All right. And then next we're going to take our brown sugar. So there are two different kinds of brown sugar. There's light sugar and there's dark brown sugar.
Okay.
Dark brown sugar has more molasses in it. So I always use dark because it just makes them taste better.
All right. How many cups will we need of this?
We'll need half a cup of that.
Okay.
It'll be a packed half a cup. So you'll want to pack it in there really tight.
Pack it really tight? Okay.
And then we're just going to crack just one egg.
Okay.
Simple. Once you have that in, we'll add in the butter. So you'll want to make sure your butter is softened. So what I do is I'll just set it out at room temperature for a little while before I start. If you don't have softened butter, it will not mix as well.
Okay.
Then if you want to help me, we'll just go ahead and mix it all together. And this is going to be the first step of what we're doing here. All right, and then one thing I did forget to do, if you want to keep on mixing, I will go ahead and preheat the oven.
Okay.
So you want to make sure and preheat it. For this recipe, we're going to do 375 degrees.
Okay.
And that's good for now. We'll mix it more because we'll have more things to put in here because the dough is not quite ready yet. Next, we need to measure out our flour.
Okay.
So we'll take 1.5 cups of flour. So we'll have the 1.5 cups of flour. These are all of our dry ingredients. Be the 1.5 cups of flour. We'll do 3/4 a teaspoon of baking soda. And then half a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, so then we're just gonna put this in here. I put in just a little bit at a time just to get it mixed in. So we'll put in a little bit and then we'll get back to mixing.
Okay. Never really mixed with my hands before. I'm so accustomed to like the electric mixer that you hold. This is, I feel like it's more accurate once you do it with your hands.
Yeah, I like to mix with my hands, especially when we get here. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now, I'm gonna spray my hands with some cooking spray so that the dough doesn't stick to your hands. So, all right, and then just mix together, and if you can see with the butter, there's still some chunks of butter. So you'll want to try and just mix those in. If they're not completely mixed in, it'll be okay. All right, so now that the dough is made, we'll roll it out to be baked. All right, so you'll just grab a little bit. It says to do it in 1-inch balls. I don't really know. You can't be exact with that unless you like had a measure or ruling measure out or something to test that. So we'll just do this. And before I forget, we do need to get some sugar in here, because what we're gonna do, once we roll them out, before we put them on, you roll them in sugar.
Oh.
All right, and then we will bake these. Like I said, it's 375. It's gonna go for 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's definitely gonna depend on your oven. Some ovens definitely run hotter. We'll set it for 8 minutes. If it smells like they're sort of done, we'll check them. So.
Okay.
While we are having those cook, let's go ahead and grab this. Well, we can clean up some, but what we really need to do is get our chocolate.
I forgot all about those.
Yes, we need to get these out of the things, because as soon as we take those out of the oven,
You have to
press
place them?
this on.
All right.
And then that's pretty much it with these cookies. And those are, I mean, they'd have to cool, but they're ready to go.
That's a great recipe to do. That's really simple. I feel like that would be great.
It's simple. I think it's really good for a beginner. If you're a beginner baker, you haven't baked very many things, this would be a really good recipe for you to go ahead and get started with. It's pretty simple. It's delicious.
It looks delicious.
Yeah.
I think it's also be really good for kids.
Yes.
I feel like that would be great for
Yes.
kids who wants to get their feet wet with cooking
Yes.
or baking. Thanks again for tuning in with Dining with Darian and Baking with Bethany. From NacEdition, I'm Darian Schultz. Axe and Jacks.
When we come back, we'll explore the NacEdishion's brewery and see how the Fast and Furious is doing in the box office. We'll be right back.
The new NacEdition Brewery is bringing beer and business for the Nacogdoches community. Let's take a closer look.
Isn't the Nacogdoches weather beautiful? Summer is approaching. Wouldn't you like to have an Angry Axe or a summer beer? Well, at the Fredonia Brewery, you can have all that and more. On this episode of Knack It Up, we actually got to explore that for ourselves. Come on, let's take a look.
My name is Paul Murray. I'm a partner here at Fredonia Brewery, mainly in charge of brewing.
What is the history of the Fredonia Brewery?
The Fredonia Brewery, we just opened up March 4th. We've been working on this for about 3 years. We started out home brewing, me and one of my partners, Vince, avid home brewers. We met at Stephen F. back in the 90s. We were going to school here, and I ended up moving back in 2008 after getting out of the service, and met back up with Vince, and just kind of grew. We were both real passionate about craft beer and home brewing, and we started the Knack Brew Club, and then one thing led to another, and eventually we got the brewery going.
What can a visitor do here at the brewery?
What we're doing right now is we'll do like pints on the patio as the first Saturday of every month. Come June or summer, we're going to start doing hours just Saturdays 2 to 6 or 2 to 8. During those ones, it'll just be come and go. You can try our beers here. You can buy a beer. You can buy beer to go from here. We've got a big beer garden. You can sit outside and enjoy it, talk with your friends. We conduct tours through the brewery on the 45-minute past the hour when we're open to the public, where we bring folks through and we kind of explain what all this equipment behind me here does. We have food trucks, and we usually have live bands and stuff when we do the pints on the patio as well. So there's that. We also have a can collection from 1958 to, I'm not sure when they stopped collecting on it, but it's about 2,500 cans that's on display on the other side of our tap room. So a lot of people like to walk through there and enjoy one of our beers and look at the old cans and just have a good time.
What type of beer flavors are offered here?
So we currently have 6 different types of beer. We have our Deutsches Kolsch, which is our light, kind of like our porthole, like our entry-level beer, if you would, to craft brewing, where people that are used to more of the lighter American beers, that's a good beer for them. It's sessionable, which means it's a lower alcohol. It's about 4.4%. Golden in color, nice dry finish, not hoppy, not malty, just good Texas summer beer. We have our Bonita Blonde, which would be a step up from that, which is just a blonde ale, which is just a hoppier type of ale, but again, it's golden in color, it's light, it's got a dry finish, it's got some Galena hops in it, so you'll get a little bit of that bitterness that you kind of associate with beers, but it's again on the lower end, and that's also more of a good summer beer. It's not quite as sessionable, but it's about 5% alcohol, so that's not too high. And then moving up from there, we've got our Nine Flags Amber. The Nine Flags Amber is it's a bold, like almost a red wine color. It's very malt forward with a big hop balance to the finish to balance that beer out, but that's been very popular. And then we have our Bull Pine Pale, which again, the pales are going to be going more towards your hoppy, like that bittering. So you get some kind of piney or citrusy notes on the nose, and it's a big, it's about 5.6% alcohol. It's a good solid beer. Then moving from there, we've got our Angry Axe IPA, which IPA stands for India Pale Ale, which is just a much more intensely hopped beer. So it's got a lot of Cascade and Columbus hops in it, which are used in a lot of IPAs. I really like it. A lot of people, the response we've been getting is people that don't generally go towards IPAs really enjoy it, because I think we balanced it well with the malt. And that's a big trick in brewing is, I mean, we want our beers to be good and approachable to just about everybody that comes in here. And even if you're not into a darker or maltier kind of beer or a hoppier kind of beer, we want you to at least give it a try. And so far the response has been very very positive. And then the last beer that we have is our Pine Cove Porter, which is a porter. It's just a very very dark beer. It's got it doesn't have any coffee or toffee or chocolate in the grain bill or ingredients for it, but just the combination of those chocolate malts and the Willamette hops, it gives it like a dark toffee beginning with kind of a coffee middle and then kind of a dark chocolate finish, but it doesn't linger too long, and that's been really well received as well, so we're happy about that.
From learning how to mix it to enjoying it out on a summer day, the Fredonia Brewery offers so much to its Nacogdoches community. Reporting for NacEdition, I'm Lasha Howard, and this has been another episode of Nac It Up. Ask some Jacks.
The Fate of the Furious was released April 14th and is yet still at the top of the box office, hitting $1 billion just last weekend. But a new movie release may be knocking it off the #1 spot. Amanda Barker has more on this.
The Fast and the Furious franchise started when the first of its series was released in 2001, and now 16 years later, it's on its 8th and final movie. The Fate of the Furious was released April 14th and now has reached $1 billion worldwide. It has also been at the top of the box office list after being out for over 2 weeks. On opening day alone, they reached to about $99 million. This movie franchise has been very popular from the start in 2001, when The Fast and the Furious was first released, and it appears to only have attracted more and more fans throughout the series. However, The Fate of the Furious may be knocked down in ranking after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2's release. This new Marvel Studios sequel will be released in the U.S. this Thursday, where it is expected to surpass The Fate of the Furious' opening weekend. Many people are looking forward to the release of this popular film, and we will just have to see where it will fall in the box office rankings. For NacEdition, I'm Amanda Barker.
That's all for another episode of NacEdition. I'm McKenna Robertson.
And I'm Washering Howard. Thanks for tuning in.